Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Crazy D's Equipment. So here in the last few weeks, I've gotten an awful lot of messages and stuff from you guys about looking at buying used tractors and things that you need to think about, or things that you guys want to know about purchasing said tractors. And I thought, you know, a while back we kind of did things to think about when buying a used tractor, and I thought, well, let's go back over that. There's a few things here I'd like to touch on I didn't touch in that previous video, and kind of go over, you know, what to be thinking, what you should be running through your head, and what to be looking at. There's a lot of things that you might miss if you're not paying a close enough attention, or there's other things that maybe you think, you know, I need to double check this, but maybe it's not as important as something else. So let's go over this, and we'll take a look at these tractors. I got quite a few on the lot that we can use for reference material, and let's go over this, and so you guys know what you're doing when you're at that farm sale, or you're going to look at that tractor that somebody has for sale on Marketplace or Craigslist. So let's take a look, guys. Come on. So the first thing I want to start off with is, so let's take as an example, let's say you're at a farm sale and you're thinking about purchasing a loader tractor, and it's an older loader like this one here on this little WD-45, and these are some of the things I would definitely look at before I started to bid on the tractor, or even if you're going to buy it from an individual. I'm going to look at the hoses on it. Are they solid, or are they really cracked, or do you have wire showing like on this one? Now, this tractor here on the lot, we didn't replace any of the hoses. It basically, Junior Mint took it from non-running to running, and we got it on the lot here. But normally I replace pretty much all the hoses on a loader. I didn't on this one for the simple fact is I'm trying to keep the price down on it. We're trying to keep this one as a very cheap tractor on the lot. The other thing I would look at is I would check the cylinders. Are they linking? Are they dumping fluid out of the bottom at the seals? And how much is it dump? A little bit of linkage is a little bit of linking, but if it's been sitting there for the auction and there's already a puddle on the ground underneath it, I would probably shy away from a tractor in a situation like that, because that usually is a sign that the tractor hasn't been really well maintained. They haven't cared at all that those cylinders were dumping fluid. If you're leaving puddles all over the yard by your loader, you know, usually that's something somebody wants to get fixed right away. You know, and you're also, you know, hydraulic fluid isn't cheap, and you're just wasting it. So, but those are some things I think about on a loader. The other thing is that I look over the loader completely. How many times has the loader been welded on? How many times the loader has been broke and patched and stuff? And how straight is the overall loader? You know, I'm not going to be too concerned about how straight the bucket is, because the bucket's doing the work, and it's going to get beat around and bunged and smashed and chains bending points and stuff on it. But if the arms are beat up real bad, or they've been broken and there's weld patches all over it, that's usually a sign that loader's been used really, really hard, which means the tractor's been used really, really hard. And I'd probably walk at that point, move away, go somewhere else, and just keep looking. You know, you will find that tractor that you're looking for. Let's move over here and look at some other things. So here's something, guys, I'd always kind of look at, especially if you're looking for a tractor that has the bigger, more expensive tires on it. You know, tires aren't too bad on an 8N. You can probably pick them up for about a couple $100 a piece. Same for this thing. It has 28s, probably about $330 a piece, which isn't too bad to put brand new tires on it. But look at the rear tires. Look at the rims. Look for rust. Inside and out, back and front. Look around the valve core. I'll have Daniel take a picture of this one where you can see there's a little bit of rust around with the valve core and stuff. Notice how that tire is I mean, it is dirty, but you know, it isn't cracked. It isn't dry rotted. This tire is hard as hard could be. That tire is a little bit more pliable. It's going to give you more traction than this tire. What's going to happen with this tire is you're going to get into a situation where you're pulling something hard, and you're going to get up on a really hard surface, and you're going to tear the tire apart. You're going to pull lugs off the tire and stuff because it is so dry rotted and cracked. Now, I'm not going to say that the tire's got to be perfect, that there's no cracks in them, nothing. I mean, you can get a lot of use out of a tire that is a little bit you know, weather checked and stuff. I mean, this one, for an example, this tire here is a good tire. Yes, it's weather cracked. Yes, it's a little bit you know, wore for age. This tire is going to give you years of service, and this tire, you're going to get a season or two more out of it, and it's going to be time to replace the tire. Unless you're going to be using this tractor on pretty light duty, which being a 9N Ford, I'd recommend to use it on light duty anyways, just a mowing tractor and doing stuff around the place. Those are definitely things that I would look at. I mean, those are going to be your most costly repairs on a tractor, is going to be replacing the tires on it, especially when you get over into the bigger tires and the bigger boys. So, but let's move down. I want to talk about a couple other things for you real quick. So guys, there's a couple things here yet I would like to show you on the rear of a tractor, things that I like to look at an auction, or when I'm buying a tractor from an individual. Kind of gives me an idea what I got and what I'm going to have to work with or have the dock fixed later on, I guess, is what I'm kind of thinking here. I always like to look at the PTO shaft down there, and I like to see if that rear main seal is linking and how bad it's linking. I like to look at the lift arms. I like to see if they've been broke and fixed and welded in any form or way. And then also I'm going to look at the hydraulic ends. Are they updated? If we look over on this one here, these are the original case fittings, and I think you can still get points, but most of the time it's just easier if you update them, put standard, and I think Miller is what Doc always gets or something like that, and we just put the standard ends on them before we send the tractor out. Makes it easier for our customers. It'll make it easier for you, because then you'll be able to have more cylinders to work on the back of your tractor. Also, I kind of like to look around here, like on the cases and some of the other tractors where it's cast iron, where the top link plugs in or hooks up. Make sure the welds aren't broke. It hasn't been broken and welded, or it's in pretty good shape. So those are some of the things on the back of the tractor I like to look at. We'll move around. We'll talk about some engine things here real quick. Come on around to the front side. So guys, here I'll try not to fall into the mud hole with the boys got this thing parked in at the moment. So on a diesel tractor, some of the things that I always have the doc do, and the doc kind of knows on his own, is he always checks the oil, wants to make sure that it smells like oil and it doesn't smell like pure diesel. One time I tried to buy a Case 800 on an auction, and the doc stopped me because the oil was more fuel than it was oil, and that means it's got a lot of blow-by and a lot of fuels getting past and getting down into the oil and stuff, and that means rebuild. Yeah, they were able to start it up. It sounded good while it was running. It wasn't smoking, anything like that, but it was an issue that we had to, Doc's like, if you buy that, it's going to be a completely engine overhaul. And he knew I wanted to buy it just for myself. I wasn't buying it for the lot. But the point of the matter was, that was a job that he would end up doing, and I don't think he really wanted to do it. So the other thing I look for is I always kind of look at the injector pump. You got the great big injector pumps here on this 1030, but I like to look and see where it hooks to the pump. Make sure it's not pissing fuel from these points, and then also like to look up at the injectors and see if it's linking any fuel, and that kind of knows if the O-rings and stuff are good in there, and that setter. And the doc always kind of checks that stuff over. He always likes to see how new the fuel filter is. you know, checks the engine oil for us, does that kind of stuff. He always looks those things over, and that's just trying to keep us from ending up with something that is going to end up being a total rebuild for the lot. And it'd be the same story for you guys. And then I guess over here on the gas tractor, guys, some other things I always make sure that we kind of check, especially on a gas tractor. We always look at the sediment bulb. I like to see how much is built up in the sediment bulb. That kind of gives me an idea. Also, is it clear or is it a really nasty color? This one's kind of in the middle, but the fuel in the tank is clean. The other thing is I have Doc kind of look at the fuel lines. Are they linking? Look at the carburetor. See if it's if you can see if there's anywhere where the carburetor is linking fuel or could possibly be sucking air in, and that kind of shows you the care of the tractor. And then just on a couple other really quick notes before we wrap this up, the other thing I do on an auction or when you're going to buy a tractor from an individual, after they fire the tractor up and run it for you, make sure you have them, and at the auctions they're really good about skipping over this point. Make sure you have them kick the PTO in and run the 3-point up and down. That's a good way to buy a good running tractor that isn't fully operable. And if those things aren't working for you, then the tractor's really no good, but as just raw horsepower. So, but anyways, those are some of the things that we kind of go over before we buy anything for the lot. Unless we know we're buying it as it's going to be a repair to be repaired for the lot. But just some food for thought, guys. So thank you for coming in. Thank you for watching, and we'll catch you later.